In this video, I'll show you how to create a social media post step by step. So first you'll go to the left hand toolbar and then you'll click create. Next we'll choose a size. So we'll click social media and then we'll click Instagram and then we'll click Instagram post square. Alright, so we're going to use a square for Instagram. Now that our design page is open, I'm going to go to uploads and we're going to go to upload files, and then I'll upload my background image and I'll click on upload. So now that my image is uploaded, I'll click on my image to add it to the design page. So I'm going to drag it by clicking and holding the edge of it and drag it outwards to cover the entire design page. So I'm going to click and hold and shift it over a bit. So I'll click the edge and hold and drag it. So I'll drag it from the top as well. I'm trying to cover the entire page so that I could use this image as my background. Because the quality of this image is not that powerful or not that strong, I'm gonna edit this image by clicking edit up at the top and I'll make it blurred. Alright, so I'll make it a bit blurry. So I'll click edit and then I'll click blur. And in order to make it blurry, we can click whole image to edit the whole image, make the whole image blurry, or we could just use the brush to highlight certain areas that we would like to make blurry. So for instance, some people might want to block out a number plate or something like that. So you could just use the brush to highlight the number plate and then make it blurry. But for now, we're gonna make the entire image blurry. So I'll click whole image. And then the intensity, we'll take the intensity up a bit so that the image could become blurry. So let's take it up or increase it. So once it's increased, it's now at 56. So the image is now blurred. Alright, so I like the blur of this image for now, so I'll go back. Alright, and I'll click the X to close this menu. So now that we're here, I'll click lock so that I could lock the position of this image. Alright, because we have it select, so we can click lock, position only. So we could edit it if we wanted to, but the position is locked and it won't move around. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to element, click element, and then I'm going to go to shape. Once I go to shape, I'm going to click on see all so that I can see all the shapes. And I'm going to add this square right here. So click on the square. So now I click on the square, it's now showing on my page, and I'm going to click the edge to resize it and make it a bit bigger. I'll click the corner, that is, to make the square bigger to cover the entire page. So now it's covering the entire page. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click upload and I'm going to click upload files, and I'm going to upload my logo. So I'll click my logo to upload it. Now that my logo is uploaded, I'll click my logo to add it, and I can resize my logo to make it a bit smaller. Actually, I'm gonna add my word mark instead of my logo. So I'll click upload again, then I'll click my word mark and I'll upload it. So I'll delete this logo and I'll add the word mark. I'll resize it by clicking the corner and dragging it inwards to make it a bit smaller. I'll drag it, click and hold to drag it down to the bottom of the page, the bottom left hand corner of the page. And next what I would do is I would select the square that I covered the entire page with, and I'm going to go to color, click on color, then here I can see the colors that are referenced from my logo. So I can see 5 colors that are referenced. I'm going to change it to purple. So now that the color is changed to purple, I could go back to my design page, and I'm going to select the square, and I'll select transparency, and then I'll turn on the transparency a bit. So if you turn on the transparency a bit, then you would be able to see through the square a bit. The lower it is, the more transparent the square would be. So as I slide it down to the lowest number, which is 0, you could see straight through the square. And if I drag it up higher to closer to 100, you won't be able to see through. So I'm gonna drag it closer to 100. All right, so let's do 90. Yeah, I think 90 looks good. All right, so I'm happy with that. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna lock this square. All right, so I'll select the square and I'll click lock. So lock position. So now the square is locked. I can't move it around like that. All right, so I'm gonna add a text box by clicking text on the left hand bar. So I'll click title, and now I'll type in my title, which is customer review or customer feedback. Let's go customer feedback. All right, so now that my text has been entered, I could click the cross to drag it up, and then I could increase the size by clicking the plus sign in the toolbar to increase the font size. So now that the font size has been increased, I'll just center it to the entire page, and I'll select the font style. So I'll change the font style by clicking pop in right here, and now I have the list of fonts that I could choose from. So there was a font that I like, so let's scroll down a bit and see some fonts, see if I like any. I'm looking for a kind of stylish text for my header. See how this one looks. Not too nice. Let's scroll a bit. I used this one a while ago. Nah, this one. All right. This one looks kind of nice, chewy. I think I used this one before so far, which is good. But let's go down here. Nope. Let's go down a bit more. Nope. So we're gonna go down a bit more and see what the options are. I may have to go back up and use one of those that I saw before. Okay, so I like this one for now. All right, so I'll use this one. So I'm happy with that font style. So I'll use that font style for now. And what I'll do is I'll go to element and insert a shape. So now that we're on shape already, I'll click this shape right here, which is a square with the rounded corners. And I'll change the color immediately by clicking the color button in the toolbar up at the top, and I'll change it to white. So I'll resize it by dragging the edge, the corner, and I'll drag the edge to make it a bit wider. So I've placed it in the center of the page, so it's now in the center of the page, and as you could see, based on the lines, the pink lines that keep coming up, it's in the center, so it's showing me that it's center of the page. All right, and it's now aligned with the text up above as well. So what I'll do next is I'll but I'll add a frame. So I'll click on frame right here in my menu on the left hand side. Then I'll add a circle. So I'll click on the circle, and I'll minimize the circle a bit by reducing the size or resizing it, making it a bit smaller. So I'll drag it, click and hold to drag, click and hold to drag it around. So I'll drag it and put it to the center of the rectangle shape. Now that it's there, I'll add a text box. Alright, I click subtitle to add the text box. So I'll drag it down a bit and I'll add my text. So I'll add a review. Alright, so double click, delete. So I double click the text and I deleted it. So I'll add my text now by typing best Canva course ever. Alright, so exclamation mark. Let's do that. So I'll select my text, click and hold to drag it. Oops. Maybe we should lock the position of this. So let's right click and then click lock position only. And then I'll select my text and I'll drag it over into my text box. So I'm gonna drag it down a bit more. And I'll change the font type to poppin. So if you want, you could use the search bar to type in your font name. So I'm gonna do that now. I'll type in my font name that I want to use. So there's my font. So if I wanna use a bold or a regular of this font style, I could just click the arrow right here, click the arrow, and then it will drop down whether you have bold, semi-bold, extra bold of that specific font type, alright, or font style. So I'll click medium, nah, I'll click regular, alright. I'll drag the text box in a bit so that it could have 2 lines. So I'll drag it in from the left first, and now I'm gonna drag it in from the right side. Oops. So drag it in from the right side. So now it has 2 lines. Alright. So I'm gonna add some stars as well. Now that I've shifted this to the center, the line came up. So I'm gonna add some stars now. So if we go to elements and we go to shape. Alright, so if you want to scroll across, you could scroll across here, or you could just clear the search box and click on shape. And then we'll click on see all. Then I'll use this star right here, click on it. So to resize it, I'll click on the edge again, resize it, drag it inwards. I'll click on it to move it around. I'll make it a bit more smaller. So if you want to zoom in, I'll zoom in. In this case, I want to zoom in, so I'll just zoom in using the zoom in tab at the bottom. Now I'll resize the star a little bit. I'm going to change the color by going to the color tab up at the top right here. Click on color and I'll add color. Click on the plus sign next to document colors. Then we're going to use a yellow. So I'm going to click on the yellow and the rainbow bar, which is the color bar right here. So I'll select that color. Then it's time to choose my shade of color. So my shade of yellow. So I'm going to click on the box right here and drag it around to see if I get a nice golden kind of yellow. So now I've found a golden color yellow. Alright, so what you could do now is, because I'm trying to get a 5-star, let me zoom out a bit. I'm trying to get a 5-star. I'm going to duplicate this. So click on it. And this sign right here is the duplicate button with 2 boxes with a plus sign in it. Click on duplicate, so it's duplicated. And I'm going to click and hold to drag it to the right side. I'll duplicate it again. And I'll duplicate it again. And I'll duplicate it again. Oops. I'll duplicate it one more time. So now I have the 5-star. And they're all aligned based on the lines that you see in going across. The 3 lines to the top, the middle, and the bottom. Alright. So if you want to highlight or move all 5 of them together, then what you could do is you could actually click and drag over them. Click and hold. So left click and hold to drag over the 5 of them, and then you could just click in one of them and just drag it over. Alright, so now I'm moving all 5 of them around by just clicking and highlighting them. Alright, so let's do that again. Click and hold, left click and hold and drag over them. Make sure you're not dragging, make sure you don't drag over any other element to highlight any other element. You only want to highlight the stars. So I'm going to click in one of them and just drag it to the center. Yep, so I like it right there based on the fact that the line came up to show that it's a line. So I'm going to click on the text box and I'm going to click the down arrow to shift it down a bit, because sometimes you don't want to use the mouse to drag it and put it out of line. Alright, so next I'm going to add a text box by clicking text, add a text box, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it down a bit by clicking the cross and make sure that it's aligned. So now I'm going to type in I'm going to type in Eve B. Alright, so that's the name of the person that's giving the review. I think I could make this font size a bit bigger by clicking the plus sign right now. So now the font size is a bit bigger, and I'll change the font style to pop in, but I'll change it to light by clicking the arrow, click it to light. Oh, it's on light already. Alright, so let's click it to extra light. So that's good for me. Alright, so I'm going to change the color as well as of this text. I'm going to change the color of the text as well. So click on the text box for the comment, click on the text color, and I'll change it to purple. And I'll do the same for, I'll change the name to gray. So select the name, click on text color, and then we'll click on gray. Alright, so that's good for me. So let's zoom out a bit. So slide the slider for the zoom to the left, and we've zoomed out. Alright, so what we're gonna do next is we're gonna actually add the image, which is like a profile photo, to this frame. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna click on uploads, and then we're gonna go to upload files. Then I'm gonna add my image, which is this image. I'm gonna click upload at the bottom right area or corner. And now my image is uploading to Canva. So I'll click and hold it to drag it over to my frame, and now I'm gonna drop it on my frame. So it's on my frame now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select the frame, then I'm gonna go to these 3 bars right here, 3 lines. Is a stroke style, click on stroke style, click the solid line. Then I'm gonna make it the stroke a bit thicker. So now I'm gonna make it thicker. I'm gonna click the stroke weight slider and slide it to the right. Slide it to the right, and now it's thicker. So I'm going to change the color as well. So I'll click the stroke color, which is this circle. So ensure that you have the frame selected. Click the circle, which is the stroke color, and then you can I'll use purple in this case, referencing from my logo, or you could have used this purple here because it's in the document already. So I'm happy with that. Alright, so I'm happy with that. I'll shift this text box up a bit with my arrow, clicking up. I've selected it and now I'm clicking up. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to make this white. So my logo is not visible enough, so I'm going to click it. Then I'm going to click edit. Then I'll click duotone. Then I'll just select one of them. I'll select customs, and then I'll click highlights. So for the highlights, I'll click the color, and I'll try to get a white by moving the circle up in the corner, the left corner, the left top corner. Then I'm going to do that for the shadow as well. So I'll do that for the shadow as well. I'll drag the circle up to the top left corner. So now you could see the logo is white. Alright, so I'm happy with that. And I'll just drag this logo over a bit drag it up a bit so it's not too close to the edges. So we're gonna add another text box, and we're gonna drag it to the bottom right corner where I'm gonna add text. So I'm gonna change the color first to white. So go to text color and then click white, and then I'm gonna type in my Instagram handle. Nope. All right, so that's good. All right, so I'm gonna just drag this across a bit. All right, so make sure that there's equal space on both sides so that your design is aligned properly. All right, so that's really good. All right, so that looks good to me. All right, so it looks like the space on both sides are equal. Just shift this across a bit. So I'm happy with that for now. I'm just looking to see if there's anything I would change. Okay, so what I would do is I would highlight, I'll click on this box, I'll unlock it, and I'll highlight all of these elements and I'll push it up a bit. All right, I'll nudge it up a bit. So I'll highlight, and remember how we highlight by clicking and holding and dragging over all our elements that we want to highlight. Now all of those elements are highlighted. I can click the up arrow on my keyboard to move them up, or I could just select them with my mouse. So I'll select them with my mouse and just drag them up. It's kind of safer to use your keyboard to drag them up a bit. Alright, so now that's that. Alright, so I'm happy with this design, and we have now completed our social media posts. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Something to note is that whenever you do your design, ensure that you get somebody to check over your work and ensure that you have the right spelling, because sometimes from time to time you'll get some typos in your graphics. So get somebody to look over it so that you could ensure that you have the right spelling, or you didn't miss out any letters before you post to your social media, or you even print your graphics. So I'll see you guys in the next